So I want to talk about a concept that I think is very important, and a lot of people get confused about it. Excuse me. That concept is simple. The concept is simple, but it's about simple or simplicity. A lot of people think if something is simple, then it's not uh, sophisticated, or it's not going to solve a big problem, or it's naive, or it's inferior. You could use any adjective you want, but a lot of people in their mind, something being simple cannot possibly solve a big problem, which is wrong. Because if you look throughout history, a lot of the biggest problems were solved by very simple ideas. I'll give you an example. Albert Einstein, in his day, all the scientists at the time were trying to figure out how is energy relates to mass. First, they didn't know that it relates to mass, but then when they came to the idea that it does, they couldn't figure how do they relate. And then Einstein comes up with a formula. I think everybody knows that formula. It's called E equal mc squared. Very simple formula. Doesn't get any simpler than that. Well, nobody believed them. In fact, they mocked them. But then they kept testing and testing, and they found out that it's true. Very simple. I'll give you another example about simple. Can you imagine living without computers or cell phone, or going to a hospital and they don't have CAT scan or MRI or anything that depends on computers? I don't think so. We live in the digital age that's all based on computers. Well, this whole digital age was born because of one guy, and I'm sorry I forgot his name. He decided one day that why are we counting from 1 to 10? Why not just count from 0 to 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, and translate that into negative, positive, negative, positive. And once we do that, then we'll have negative charge, positive charge. In other words, we could translate that into electrical waves, and computers were born out of a simple idea, the binary system. Um, you know, want another example of simple? Airplanes. You ever seen those huge military airplanes that lifts tanks and military equipment that weighs hundreds of tons? And you wonder, how do they get off the ground? How can you lift this much weight off the ground? It's a simple idea. The shape of the wing. Without the shape of the wing, those airplanes will not take off, will not get off the ground. You want another example? Velcro. Very simple idea. We could go on and on about simple ideas. To the contrary, you want to hear about complex ideas or complex solutions? I was watching a show called Air Disaster the other day, and it showed an airplane that crashed, and the reason it crashed, it caught on fire because one of the maintenance guys forgot to put a washer. A washer. And hundreds of people got killed because of that. The space shuttle, it failed because of an O-ring. Number of astronauts died, and the other space shuttle, that piece of foam hit the wing and it burned on the way coming to Earth. Any complex machine, if you know Murphy's Law, anything that could go wrong will go wrong. the more complex the machine, the more the odds that something is going to go wrong. And hence, the simpler, the better. The simpler means it's easy to produce, it's economical to produce, it's easy to use, meaning it's consumer friendly, and it's less liable to fail. So that concept is very important, and that's the theme behind all my inventions. Trying to find the simplest possible way to solve a problem. You could solve a problem in a multitude of different ways, but the genius is in the simplicity. Thank you for watching.